are obeying our egos, ourselves. We are obeying our shaitan. We are following the wrong way. Even everyone, we say, no, I am good, I am praying, I am fasting, I am like this, I am like that. By saying like this, you are really, indeed, disobeying Allah Almighty and disobeying Rasulullah. Because you have enough presence in yourself to see you are something important. You are a good servant to Allah Almighty. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never in his life said, I am a good servant to Allah Almighty. He said, oh Allah Almighty, don't question me, Yawm al-Qiyamah, according to your greatness. I never will be passing away by a good end. I will never be one who will be entering to paradise if you question me by your greatness. O Allah Almighty, don't look at all my worshipping. Only Allah Almighty, bless me by your endless and countless forgiveness and mercy so that I will go by a good end from this life. If Rasulullah saying so, how nowadays people doing nothing and saying that they are very good to Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. If they pray to Raka'at, they will start to ask Allah Almighty, we want prosperous life, we want like this, we want successful life, we want. Why? Because we pray to Raka'at. And if something important, you are increasing Allah Almighty, making Him to be bigger by these two Raka'at you pray. All the day, sleeping, all night, watching TV, talking in your meetings, eating the meat of each other by riba, by namima, talking on back of each other. No one is busy even 1 minute in Zikrullah Azza wa Jal and on Salat and Salam of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You say, no, we are busy, no, we are not busy. No one can lie on me. I am not an easy one. When Maulana will bless me by invitation to be open, then I will be knowing everything going on in every mind and every heart around me. Just I was praying prayer of Maghrib, now, and MashaAllah, non-stopping endless portions of talking, nonsense and useless, is that this holy time between Maghrib and Isha to praise Allah Almighty and glorify Allah Almighty and to do Salat and Salam of Rasulullah. They were talking all of them, none and one. And these are the best, the Al-Naqshbandi class, Al-Naqshbandi group to be the good example. And they are innocent to be busy, everyone by his tasbih, everyone carrying his mobile telephone, and everyone busy talking this to that to this, like this, nonsense and useless, instead to this Salat wa Salam on Rasulullah, or to praise Allah Almighty and glorify. And Maulana showing me in my house too, these are the Naqshbandi group. They are the good examples in between Al-Sunnah and Jama'ah. They are prouded to hear something to benefit them for their akhirah, to be wealthy, spiritual wealth, and to be in the line of Awliyaullah. Why I'm saying so, not scolding you or criticizing you, but Maulana Allah Almighty, in the day of promises, He promised all grandchildren and all grandchildren, Maulana Shaykh Adnan Effendi will nowadays be successor of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and all grandchildren. He is the one who, in his meeting, he talked about any badness, any mistake, any sin, it will be erased from your book. He will carry it and you will not be questioned Yawm al-Qiyamah. And for this, from his love to you, Maulana is making me to speak from his station to translate to you that he is, by scolding you now, carrying you from you all your burdens and all your badness and all your mistakes and sins, so that Allah Almighty will not question you Yawm al-Qiyamah and to be forgiven by Allah Almighty. And by Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to make shafa'ah. If we are not going to mention this, then you are going to be questioned for every deed. You are going to be questioned for every word you are talking. Then you will be questioned by Allah Almighty for every movement you are doing. Because Allah Almighty is saying, إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ ذَلِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. Everyone is going to be questioned Yawm al-Qiyamah for his eyes and what they used to look and to chase. Man chasing woman, woman chasing man, looking at TVs, sitting in coffee houses. Then Allah Almighty will question your tongue, what they used to talk, what they were used as talking, either dunya talking or riba, or on back of each other, or everyone lying on the other and make himself so important in front of the other with proudness, and he is lying, he has nothing from what he is saying about himself. And Allah will question your ears. إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ. Also Allah will question the ears. What you used to hear, and you will never, whenever you are hearing something bad, you say Astaghfirullah. But you will involve yourself in the talk and to talk and talk and talk and talk. And Allah is going to question your heart. I created your heart to be house of Allah Almighty. I created your house to be my house. Your house, I am choosing them to be my house, to settle myself and my throne in your house. Allah Almighty is saying, neither heavens or earth, I choose them to be house for me. Only the house of children of Adam alayhi salam, they are the house of Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty didn't say Malaika, the house of Malaika is house, didn't say the throne is his house, didn't say Kaaba is his house, didn't say Qudus Sharif is his house, didn't say jinn, they are his house, but he said house of children of Adam alayhi salam, they are my house. Allah ask you how you were spending the time of your heart. Is your heart busy with Allah Almighty or busy with Shaitan? Your heart busy with Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, or they are busy with your ego and thoughts and the whispering of Shaitan? Allah will question one of the awliya, not big awliya as Grand Shaykh or Maulana, but from ordinary awliya, common awliya, from the 124,000 awliya. He died, passed away, and all his murid around him, they are washing him, they put him on the washer to wash him, and when they were washing him, they saw that his nails, they are very long, his mustache is so long, coming over his lips, all, nothing from Sunnah of Rasulullah on his body was survived. Never a Sunnah he was doing on his body. And so they were talking to each other while watching him, how we used to respect him and to take him as a guidance and a shaykh, and even he is not surviving Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on his body. And like this they were in a conversation, as you used to be in this conversation when I was playing Maghrib by the Imamiyya of Maulana Shaykh Adnan, instead to play with me, all of you talking, useless talking. Then this dead awliya is not dead. We are dead ones. Awliya never they are dead ones, they are alive ones. But we are a dead ones, because we make our house to be dead ones. Because we make our hearts we make our eyes to be that blind eyes. We make our ears to be deaf. We make our tongues to be no more able to praise Allah Almighty and to lift salat wa salam on Rasulullah. But to so use that thing which only making busy the malaika on the left shoulder to write and to fill the book of you so that you will meet only for the hand of Allah Almighty to save you. And that is that awliya which is passed away and they are worshiping him. He was then talking and addressing them, oh my murid, he is dead. But he is not dead, he is awliya, and awliya, they are alive in their grave, they are alive in the other world, as they are alive in this world. And he was talking to them, oh my murid, don't look at my body that I am not surviving the sunnah, you are making riba on me, talking on my bed. I am yet 50 years and I am watching my heart. I didn't find just 1 second to be free to cut my nails or to shave my hair or to do my mustache and to do sunnah of Rasulullah on my body, because 50 years I am so busy keeping my heart only to be heart of Allah Almighty. Shaitan not to answer to my heart. I didn't 1 second headless from my heart so that not Shaitan will approach and enter to my heart. To keep my heart clean, house of Allah Almighty. I didn't get found 1 minute for my physical body to take care of it. And for this, if you keep my murid, he was telling them, keep your heart busy with Allah Almighty. Don't keep your heart busy with talking, useless things, and on back of each other, but keep your heart to be always humble enough, because Allah Almighty will not settle His throne except on broken and humble heart. Allah likes the one who has a broken heart, the one who always making tadallul in between the hands of Allah Almighty, saying, oh Allah Almighty, I am so weak servant. Oh Allah Almighty, make me always under your mercy and forgiveness. I am a guilty one. I confess I am not a good one. I am full with proudness. I am a one whom I need to shafa of you without Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I need for your forgiveness, for your mercy to Allah Almighty. Make your heart to be busy with Allah Almighty. That Allah will bless you by all means of pureness, of successful, of prosperity, health and wealth. Never burdens or suffering or miseries or misfortune will come over you. But the one who is not making his heart to be busy with Allah Almighty, then he must prepare himself for the punishment, for miseries, for suffering, for burdens, for unsuccessful life, for all means of punishment, arrows of punishment which are coming from heaven over children of Adam alayhi salam. Allah keep the one whom they are keeping him. Allah remember the one whom they are remembering him. Allah saying in the Holy Quran, نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَنَسِيَهُمْ. They forget Allah Almighty and Allah forget them. They forget Allah Almighty. Allah made them to forget themselves and to be in the way of Shaitan instead to be in the way of Rahman, of Allah Almighty. This advice is only to take from you all the badness and all whatever you are gaining from walking in the way of Shaitan and making your heart to be busy with things not belonging to Allah Almighty. The Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what they used to be all of them worshipping statues. They used to be all of them killing each other. They used to be very bad ones in ignorant times. When the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was rising and shining over them, they were totally converted and they were totally twisted 360 degrees to be any one of them mentioned his name, every man would say, radiyallahu anhu. They were then busy with Allah Almighty, busy with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Until Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, he put a small stone in his mouth to keep himself remembering not to use his tongue or his heart except by zikrullah and salat wa salam on Rasulullah. Whenever his tongue wants to speak anything, like we are talking nowadays, this don't remember him. He is in his mouth remembering him not to talk anything which makes shaitan to be happy and his ego to be happy. But only to praise Allah Almighty, to be busy with Allah Almighty, to make Allah Almighty happy and to please from Him. And for this Allah Almighty blessed him by this title Siddiq. Allah blessed him to be Siddiq, to be Atiq, to be friend to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to be one of a two in the cave of God when they were immigrating to Medina. And Allah Almighty rewarded him by making him to be in the company of Allah Almighty and the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and rewarding him because he was keeping his tongue and his heart only for Allah Almighty, and to be busy with Allah Almighty, to be blessed as a Siddiq, and to carry the nation of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. And that is from Siddiq to Siddiq, from Siddiq to Siddiq, they are carrying the nation of Rasulullah past their murid. Nowadays, Siddiq of this period of time, Mawlana Shaykh Muhammad Razim al-Haqqani, the Sultan of Haqqaniyin. He is the Sultan of Haqqaniyin. He is carrying the nation of Rasulullah, carrying his murid, and even nowadays he is carrying all children of Adam alayhi salam to present them to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that he is carrying from them all their badness and all their sins and all their mistakes, so that not to be sometimes to be guilty from Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And even though no one is carrying, everyone is leaving the heat of his heart to do whatever he likes, to go on every badness, and his mind to go on in all kinds of thoughts and whispering of shaitan. And especially when you are you enter into prayer, when you are praying, when you are worshipping, when you want to make meditation, when you want to make the Naqshbandi Zikr, Khatmul Khajatan, Zikrullah Azza wa Jal, start saying Allahu Akbar, and shaitan will put play on the tape for you, and the tape will be running, bringing for you all whatever happening with you from just you want till nowadays, and to make you busy instead to be concentrated and focusing in the divine presence of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah. You will be thinking about what we are going to do after the prayer, what we did, what our business is going on well now or not, what our family is doing, our wife doing, our husband doing, and like this until you reach to the Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. You say we missed how many rak'ahs you pray, Allah will not know you are forgetting. Allah will make you to put down and say Assalamu alaikum wa salam. Quickly you will get up. And you don't care, we pray, and you say we pray, and then you will say, Allah Almighty, we are praying for you. What nice prayer you are giving to Allah Almighty. How much perfect prayer you are giving to Allah Almighty. How much complete prayer you are giving to Allah Almighty. How perfect worshiping you are presenting to Allah Almighty. That Allah Almighty will be proud with you in between the Malaika. Showing, look, oh Malaika to my servants, how they are worshipping and praying for me so perfectly that they don't know in which rak'ah they are, and they don't know anything about in between the hands of whom they are. When you are going to sujood, instead to make sujood for Allah Almighty, you make sujood for your thoughts, for listening of shaitan, bring it for you plenty of things on the sujood, and the sujood will be going down to these thoughts and the listening and not to Allah Almighty. And like this the one, when he will wake up, when you are going to wake up, when the angel of death, Israel alayhi salam, will come to take your soul publicly, then you will wake up, oh, what we did in our life. And that's the one he will say, wait, I want to repent. No time to it. Now you have no time to repent, you have no time to do anything except to blame yourself and to be ashamed from yourself in the divine presence of Allah Almighty. Instead of Allah Almighty to welcome you, smiling to you, Allah will turn his face upon you, and he will never look at you. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when Allah Almighty turning his face in what, he will not make shafa'ah Rasulullah. Never Rasulullah will make anything which Allah Almighty doesn't like. Allah Almighty always does is practicing and doing everything which pleases Allah Almighty, and loving everything which Allah Almighty loves, and he used to be enemy for everything which Allah is getting him as enemy. Even his uncle whom he brought him up, even his relatives whom they didn't accept the message of Allah Almighty, the Rasulullah even didn't take them to be friends for him, but he made them enemies because they are enemies for Allah Almighty. And for this, don't think that you are doing something good, you are doing something which you need to say after everything you are doing, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. So repent to Allah Almighty, to ask tawbah to Allah Almighty. This is for common people, not for you. For you, whom they say, my Shaykh is Maulana Shaykh Adnan, and you are following the line of Awliyaullah, and you are not friendly, once when we have a tariqah, your punishment is done from Allah Almighty. For common one punishment, but for you, double punishment, because you know the way of Allah Almighty, and you are making yourself committed to forget it. Give this advice, so that you will not be ashamed when you are meeting Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That you will not blame Allah Almighty and Rasulullah and Maulana if you are suffering or sickness coming to you, or unprosperity or unsuccessful life. You will blame them. Don't blame them, blame yourself, because when you were Allah giving you your prosperity and peaceful time, instead to be busy with Allah Almighty, you are busy with yourself and with shaitan. And for this Allah Almighty forgetting and giving you double punishment than common one. Common one they don't know Allah Almighty. Perhaps there is the one of the awliya, he will find for them an excuse because they don't know. But who know, and you are making the way of Allah Almighty, no more excuse for you, then the punishment will be so great from Allah Almighty. And the one in his summary, he put all blames on Allah Almighty, on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on Maulana. He forgot what he used to be doing when he was in peace. and comfort. Allah gives you everything. And for this Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said in the hadith, احفظ Allah يحفظك. To one of the Sahaba, he told them, I am going to teach you something, my son. Keep Allah Almighty, Allah will keep you. Remember Allah Almighty when you are in comfort and in peaceful time. Allah will remember you when you are suffering and you are getting awful time. Remember Allah Almighty when you feel that time. Allah will remember you in your awful time. The one who remember Allah Almighty, Allah will remember him when he is suffering. The one who, when he is happy, not remembering Allah Almighty, then when he is in a bad time, Allah will not remember him. You want Allah to remember you, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and awliyas all designed to be blessed by all means of blessings from Allah Almighty and good tidings. Always keep remembrance of Allah Almighty in your heart. Keep Allah Almighty with you. Allah will keep you. Keep Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with you. Rasulullah with you. Keep awliyaullah, Sultan of Awliya Maulana with you. He will keep you. This is not advice because you were talking too much when I was praying the other prayer. And for this Maulana to heal you from what was coming over this house from Allah Almighty, because you were talking too much useless talking, was becoming too much darkness. And this darkness, like coming to Maulana and to my house, as if a magnetic field coming all this darkness coming on me. And for this Maulana, sending this message to all of you, in your houses, in your meetings, whenever you are meeting, don't make darkness to come from Allah Almighty over you, but make light and mercy to come over your meeting and over your crowd. Make always the hand of Allah Almighty over you, the hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the hand of Awliya. Don't be like the children. Children, they are protected, even they don't or play, they are forgiven. But you are one whom they are responsible, and you are one whom they are mature, and Allah Almighty will question everyone of you, and everyone whom he is busy other than Allah Almighty, then darkness will be there, coming over his house and over his family, and then you will see everyone of the house, the daughters complaining, the sons complaining, brothers complaining, sisters complaining, the wife complaining, the husband complaining, all happening to each other. Why? Because they forget Allah Almighty, Allah forget them. Why? For the one whom they don't forget Allah Almighty, the one whom they are busy with Allah Almighty, you will see all their sons and daughters obeying them. They are like oceans, loving each other. The wife loving the husband, and the husband loving the wife. All of them, they are prosperity living successfully under the guide of Allah Almighty and the blessing of Allah Almighty. While the one who forgets Allah Almighty always is going to be complaining and suffering. Why? Because darkness will be coming over his head and over his family from this useless soul, which never gives you benefit, neither in dunya or in akhirah. He always gives you something which will give you profit and will make you to be gaining and winning in dunya and in akhirah. And all this is to always, whenever you are meeting, to finish your meeting, to finish all your crowd, to finish all any meeting, to finish or he is even not sitting with each other, in between yourself as a family sitting, always remember to say, we are one Almighty. And you give the Shahada, you will say, in your hands, O Beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as a trust for us. That all this darkness, Allah will take it off, and instead of darkness, only light and blessing and forgiveness and mercy, and the Malaika, they are forced by Allah Almighty to erase whatever they wrote on your left side shoulder, on the book, and it will be changed by Allah Almighty to be written on the right book. Malaika has good tidings and goodness for every one of you. هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. Goodness, Allah will reward goodness. Badness, Allah will reward you badness. So choose whatever you want, you are free. Allah giving everyone a free will. Choose. You want badness, I will reward you badness. You want goodness, I will reward you goodness. And we say now at the end of our advice and reading, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله. والله ما في يا رب we know that we are guilty, we are nothing. We not even giving you any kind of good worshipping or prayer or fasting. سبحانك ما عبدناك حق عبادك. Praise be to you, Allah Almighty. We didn't worship you as you must be worshipped, Allah Almighty, according to your greatness. We are these. Forgive us, Allah Almighty. We are asking Tawbah, repenting to you. Mercy unto Allah Almighty. Let us by Shafa'at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Shafa'at Mawlana Shaykh Adnan Ya Rabbana Ya Allah. O Allah Almighty. And let us by all means of forgiveness and mercy. And bless Allah Almighty our heart. Let our spiritualities and our bodies and our eyes, our tongues, our ears, our hearts, so that they be by your generosity to be changed from badness to goodness, to be blessed from your divine attributes and names, to be blessed from your goodness, O Allah Almighty, and to be good sincere servants to you. Take off all suffering from us, take off all punishment from us, take off all darkness from us, take off all misery and misfortune from us, O Allah Almighty. And we are saying, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر. We give you shahada. In your hand, Ya Rasulullah, as a blood for us, amana yawm al-qiyamah, al-sunnah al-hadith, ka-sunnah al-farih. I told him I don't want to go. He said, no, you must sit down. Then I must follow my station. I cannot do from myself. Sometimes station gives him high knowledge. Sometimes Sharia knowledge. Sometimes Awliya knowledge. Sometimes translation of Rasulullah. Sometimes translation of Da'at al-Zaman. Sometimes station, Ghouse station of Allah. Sometimes causing station will come. It's called everyone. So it depends. Don't tell me to go. Then I don't know what I will do. Not you need to be blamed. The one who will ask you is to say. Now what we will do? Anyone of them now has appetite for dinner after the